So here we are in Costa del Sol to pick up where we left off, trying to find the company of heroes and learn how they defeated Titan. To that end, here's Whiskate. Pardon? You wish to slay the Lord of Crags? We must slay him, Captain. The people of Limsa Lominsa are depending upon us. You fancy yourselves heroes then, just like in the tales. Be not so quick to judge. Long have I labored for the well-being of you and yours, and my associate here has bathed in a Fritz hellfire and lived. She is blessed with a power that protects her from primal influence. Thus was she able to lay low the Lord of the Inferno. We know full well the... Oh, sorry, that's still Y'shtola. We know full well the risks and have taken every possible precaution. We lack only the knowledge of how to enter Titan's lair. Pray be so good as to grant us the boon of your wisdom, and we shall be on our way. A woman who can't be tempered. Useful, but it will not be enough. It is true that the company of heroes fought and felled primals, but each victory was bought with the lifeblood of brave men and women. And Titan was the worst we faced. Aye, we defeated him in the end, but he took from us some of our very best. Even if you possess the power you claim, I have no reason to believe you will succeed. Believe what you will, we mean to try. Though our lives be forfeit, we will not abandon Limsa to the wrath of Titan. You are passionate, I'll grant you that. And you deserve better than the greeting I gave you, but I will not send you into Ogomoro on a whim. To be plain, I do not wish to see you give your lives in vain. At the very least, I must have assurances that you are more than common adventurers. I oversee security for Master Gegaruju's estates. Perhaps you can demonstrate your abilities by attending to one of our... Ye gods, man, have you heard nothing I've said? We have not the time to perform trivial tasks. The enemy is at the gates. Do you imagine words can sway me, girl? If you dislike my conditions, then you are welcome to find your own way into Ogomoro. Though it pains me to admit it, I fear we have no choice but to acquiesce to the man's demands. Yet much remains to be done if we are to best. Titan, forgive me, but I must ask you to undertake this task alone. I will use the time to see to the remaining preparations. Leaving the dirty work to others, are we? Very well. Pray do whatever the good captain bids, however trifling. Remember, the fate of Limsa Lominsa hangs in the balance. Master Gegaruju's requests can be more demanding than you realize. Before I set you to your true task, I would like to verify that this won't be a waste of my time. A Nyx has recently been seen prowling the beach to the east. As you can imagine, my master does not want large slimy creatures anywhere near his lands. The beast is cunning, but you should have no difficulty luring it out with herring. Slay the Nyx and return to me. Oh, and don't forget to bring me a leg as proof of the kill. Alright. Whee! Sploosh. Oh, I can also... There it is. Water float. First, you must cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring. This big old frog. sir. I have killed the frog for you. Well, did you deal with the Nix? Yep, here's his leg. Lest you think me overly cautious for testing you in this way, you should know that we had an incident not long ago. A foolish young employee was dismissed for lying about his past. He claimed to have served in the company of heroes, but I knew for a fact he did not. Anyway, now that the pointless busy work is finished, I shall give you a challenge as befits your talents. Two highly distinguished individuals are scheduled to visit Costa del Sol in the near future, and Master Gegaruju wishes to welcome them with an elaborate banquet. But while money is no object, not everything Master Gegaruju desires can be so easily purchased. It is to be an extremely exotic feast, and so, Asuka, your mission is to seek out and obtain the rare ingredients our chef requires. Naturally, such fine dining must be accompanied with a suitable wine, and by suitable I mean the very best there is. That, however, can wait for the time being, as I believe you have enough on your plate as it is. It will be a long and arduous journey, but you need not toil alone. Many of the mercenaries who once served under my command still live, and they will guide you in your quest. For the first ingredient, I would have you travel to the South Shroud and speak to Landinel at Camp Tranquil. What? Do you mean to tell me you cannot afford to waste time, as your associate did? Adventurer, if you have not the endurance to complete this mission, how do you expect me to believe you can outlast the Lord of Crags? Either do it or don't. I have work to do. Alright. We will go, then, to Camp Tranquil. And speak to this Landinel. Where are you at? Do you require assistance, adventurer? So, this is the one who would challenge Titan. I've been expecting you, Asuka. The ingredient you seek is the egg of a giant adamantoise. The method of acquisition should be obvious. You steal it from the beast's nest, of course. Simple in theory, but difficult in execution. Most who try die in the attempt. Will I help you get it? Haha, you amuse me. I will not jeopardize my position by openly assisting you. From me, you will receive only information. What you do with it is your choice. Let me be clear. This business between you, me, and the captain must remain secret. See, I don't regret my time spent with the company of heroes in the slightest. Traveling the world, meeting interesting people, killing them. It is all jolly good fun. Alas, Gridanians are, by and large, an unforgiving lot. Ditto here being a rare exception. I've had to go to great lengths to ensure that I am seen as a model citizen, with no taste for drinking, whoring, gambling, and all those other activities I so dearly miss. So you understand that if you ruin my little charade by wagging your tongue, I'll fashion a noose with your entrails and hang you from the nearest heavens pillar. Well, what are you waiting for? There's a perfectly good adamantoise egg in a nest to the east of here, just right for the taking. Not that I expect you to live long enough to claim it. Ha 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 ha. The mother never strays far from the child, and you will surely be attacked the moment you lay hands upon the egg. There will be other heroes, Asuka. You do not need to challenge Titan. Abandon your quest, or your corpse will rot in this swamp. Well, no. I'm gonna go get the egg. That is a big egg. Oh. Have to actually pick it up. I thought you might have the good sense to leave this place. By your continued presence, I take it you intend to persevere to the bitter end. Yep, here's the egg. Ha ha ha, such bravery, such recklessness. That will serve you well against Titan. Leave the egg with me, I'll see that it gets to the captain. You should make haste for southern Danaland. In Forgotten Springs, you will find a man named Uod Nun. He will be your next guide. Safe travels, Asuka. Alright. To Forgotten Springs. Which way? This way. State your business, adventurer. Ha! So this is the one Whiskate sends me. I haven't the foggiest what he sees in you, and until I do, you will receive no aid from me. Persistent bugger. Very well, let's have a look at you. You've seen your share of battle, there's no mistaking that, and you did manage to obtain that adamantoise egg. However, that was not more than a display of brute force and blind courage. The Nun I once fought also believed that his strength would save him. He was wrong, and now I am Nun. Nun is the title for the patriarch of one of the cat people clans. Many years ago, I joined the company of heroes to hone my skills, instead of challenging my predecessor before I was ready. Even when I was young, I understood that victory goes to the patient, the cunning, the pragmatic. That is why I claimed my position, and it is why I still hold it, and it is why I will not help an unproven whelp. The children of the sands do not offer aid to strangers. To do so is a sign of weakness. However, if you are recognized as a skilled hunter in your own right, it would be permissible to assist you. Across the desert to the east lies an Amalja encampment. There dwells a warrior renowned for both his strength and his guile. To even face this Amalja in battle, you must first find a way to lure him away from the encampment. This will be your test, to draw out and defeat the veteran. For this, I will offer you no advice, only this worn spear. Why, you ask? You will have to solve that riddle yourself. Now go, slay this old warrior, and bring me his necklace. Okie doke. I can do that. Just a quick drive across the desert. Or a fly, as it were. So much sand. We put the spear there, and now we wait. Oh, there he is. Take that. Tell me, adventurer, is our old nemesis dead? Yep, here's his necklace. It is a fine necklace, as befits a veteran of countless battles. It will make an excellent trophy. The spear? It belonged to one of his brothers. I knew when he spied it from afar he would be unable to resist venturing outside the encampment to see for himself. Did you discern my intent, or was it dumb luck, I wonder? Hehehe. Either way, you impress me, adventurer. I shall tell you of the ingredient you seek. Yay! A shame we did not meet when I was still with the company of heroes. You would have made a fine recruit. But no point dwelling on what cannot be. You have a Welwick worm to hunt. Sandworms slither brazenly across the desert dunes, but Welwick worms are far fewer in number. Rarity breeds demand, and so their meat is highly prized as a delicacy. The only way to catch your quarry is to entice it with something it cannot resist. The worms prey on the smaller accidentally hit a button and went past his little bit of dialogue there. Sorry about that. There is an area teeming with anglers to the east. I will mark it on your map, along with the location where Welwick worms are most frequently sighted. Be warned, the blood will drive the worm into a feeding frenzy. If your skills are lacking, it will devour you as well. So we gotta go kill a thing and then use its body as bait to lure out a big-ass worm. There we go. Sandfish. He's big, but no match for us. Killed your worm. You look well. Have you caught your quarry then? Yep. Your skills as a hunter rival those of our best. I applaud your success, Asuka. The meat will need to be heavily smoked before I ship it to Westgate. Worry not, you have my word that he will receive it in time for the banquet. You must be eager to obtain the third ingredient. I regret to say that I know not of its location. For the nonce, you should return to Costa del Sol and seek Westgate's counsel. Ah, but hold a moment. Since you will be meeting the captain again soon, there is something I would like you to deliver to him for me. And what would that be? The captain was always fond of this brandywine. I would be grateful if you could deliver it on my behalf. It was a reckless, angry youth I was when I first joined the company, and he would have been well within his rights to cast me out. Everything I have I owe to his wisdom and generosity. Westgate was a firm yet fair teacher, an expert molder of men, and I suspect that that is still the case now. Please give him my regards, Asuka. Okie doke. Back to Costa del Sol. Oh, wrong way. I have a habit of doing that, going off in the wrong direction, even when there's a map marker. Hey, Westgate. Well met, Asuka. Landonell and Uod Noon both spoke highly of you. What brings you here today? I got some wine. Ah, my favorite. I shall have to thank the Nun personally. Now you have but one ingredient left. Fortunately, you will not have to travel to Aldenard this time to obtain it. Oh, good. Truth be told, I never intended for you to collect this last ingredient, but Brayflox, my old quartermaster, wished to bring it to Costa del Sol herself. However, not long ago, she sent word that there's been some trouble at the long stop, and that the delivery would be delayed indefinitely. She told me nothing of the incident itself, but I fear the situation may be dire. Though I would like nothing more than to aid her myself, I have no choice but to turn to you and your allies. Make haste to Hidden Falls docks and speak with Ozun Nazun. He will direct you to Raincatcher Gully, where Brayflox and her people have made their home. We can do that. On my flying motorcycle. Hey, Ozun. What's the hurry, Ventura? Eh? Something happened over at the Gobby settlement? I don't know why you're so eager to help a bunch of beastmen, but go and talk to the skipper over yonder. She'll ferry you to Raincatcher Gully. I could go talk to the skipper. Or I could just fly there myself. Since the quest doesn't require that I talk to the skipper. But back in the day, when I was playing through this the first time, I wouldn't have had any teleportation sites over here to use, or a flying mount, so I would have had to talk to the skipper. Psh, Sko? Tongue flaps of Whiskate be reaching ears of Brayflox. Uplander is come for tasty fresh gobby treats, yes? Quest prize of Uplander deep in Longstop. Flighty beast chased gobby flock from homes. Gobby flock needs goodly Uplander, gives safety to Longstop with much hand lending. It's a dungeon. Which we're gonna solo. It's a nice outdoor dungeon. And it's got a dragon. So first things first, we have to go up here and get a key from this guy. And that will unlock the door to the first boss. There we go. We can kind of ignore. Oh, I guess we can't. They saw me. This dungeon has a couple of dead-end side paths, but we don't have to do them at all. Yeah. Well. Second boss down. Oh, guess we can't. Can I go in the water? No. Won't let me. We gotta run this way. Oh, we got this big salamander. So the dragon pops up, but then he flies away. So we gotta chase him to his lair. Killed him too fast. The door didn't want to open. Done. So if we were doing this at the appropriate level, he would have time to spew out a bunch of poison that heals him, but we can just one-shot him and not have to deal with that at all. Now we can go tell Brayflox that her long stop is clear. Shko? Goodly Uplander has thanks of Gobbyflock. Flighty beast was tricksy foe, but Uplander outwitted with plans making. Uplander has goodly head for fighty think. Brayflox happy gives tasty fresh gobby treats to clever Uplander. Cheeses, stinky sweet gobby treats, special make with secret gobby arts. No party complete without gobby gouda, Brayflox every say. Now we take this back to Whiskate. We're just gonna teleport back to Costa del Sol, though. Sunbeams. I got your stinky cheese, sir. I gather you solved Brayflox's little problem. Yep. Stinky cheese. By the gods, that unholy stench. This is, definitely goblin cheese. Judging from the smell, this should be quite flavorful. How is it made? It's best you remain ignorant of such things. I still remember when I learned what kind of milk they use. Bravo, Oscar. Thanks to you, our guest shall be honored with a marvelous banquet. But what good is an exotic feast without an equally exquisite aperitif? Luckily, I know just the person to ask. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shamani Lomani, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this order slip. He'll take care of the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you I do actually need that wine. And while you're there, give Shamani Lomani my regards. Luckily, we can teleport right there. Hey, Shamani. Sweet grime and blood. Sweet. Sweat, grime, and blood. Aye, you reek of blood. An adventurer, unless I am mistaken. What brings you to Wineport? An order, let me guess. A request for the finest vintage I can muster. The paper smells of loam and perfume. Costa del Sol, and there's also the unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gegaruju would not settle for anything less than the best. Durst Whites and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast, hence his decision to rely on an adventurer. Ah, but perhaps you are confused. This display of deduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. But you've no interest in my affairs. You wish only to discuss the wine, I suspect. You're blind? Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible if not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of that work, none can deny that it pays well. Ah, but you grow impatient, and Whiskate must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for this occasion. The best vintages in town are hoarded by Berglate, who owns and operates the largest winery in Vilgrad. Somehow, I doubt he will be receptive to your request, but given these circumstances, we must needs beg his assistance. I shall talk to this man. Kloon. What rank amateur bottled this wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. Dismissal is too good for the man responsible. He should be made to drink every drop of his polluted swill. What is it? I am in the middle of an important discussion, and I do not care for interruptions. That neophyte vintner bid you speak with me? Ha! Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve you gooboo urine than sell you my worst vintage. Be gone from my sight. Okay. Hey, Shamani. He didn't like me. I take it he said no. Really, in those words? Well, I cannot say I am surprised. While there's no denying his passion and skill, the wine baron of Limsa is not a man known for his tact. Very well, we shall have to take an alternative approach. What do you have in mind? There is a chance, however small, that another resident of Wineport can furnish us with a suitable wine. In fact, had you come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines, which isn't to say the grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, vignerons of Wineport crossbred several species and produced a grape-bearing vine that of never before seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of this town, as they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all others. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in Wineport. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege to sample that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment, I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves. I transcended my mortal flesh and was one with all creation. But as is all too often said, the calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owners, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Berglaint to part with his wines, our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has a bottle of Bacchus wine and to offer them every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the vignerons tending the vineyards might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you could start by speaking with them. I shall do that. Where are they? Let's get a bird's eye view. There you are. Bacchus wine? Bah, don't remind me. Used to have a cellar filled with the stuff. Thought I could keep the wine safe from thieves and the elements. Never counted on a bloody primal blowing up my goddamned house. you. What? Do I have Bacchus wine? I wish I never had the chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend, but you're a few years too late. Well then. No luck, hmm? Most regrettable, but we had to try. Ah, but Bacchus wine would have been perfect for the occasion. Though I must confess my certitude could be due in part to my personal history with the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After Titan blinded me in our battle beneath Ogomero, I fell into a deep depression. It wasn't until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized there was still so much I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me to find a new direction in life. It breaks my heart to think that wondrous ambrosia which once filled me with hope may be lost forever to us. I must say the stock of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there is much I miss about my life with the company of heroes. After everything the captain has done for me, I could not bear to disappoint him. I have no fear. I swear I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, though I may need some time to think of a solution. In the meantime, there is a favor I would ask of you. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Vilbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect I was looking for a place to die, because I very nearly found one not far from here. It was there that I met a man named Drest. It was there that a man named Drest took me in and nursed me back to health, and it was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me to find my new calling. Though I am still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like him to know that I am pursuing my dream. This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you delivered it to him in my stead. Drest sometimes works at the Raincatcher Gully docks, so perhaps Ritskilt can tell you where to find him. Let's go talk to Ritskilt. Dressed? Oh, you mean the hermit? Aye, I toss him a few gil when we need an extra pair of hands. He doesn't talk about himself, and I sure as hell don't ask. When a man's got a face with scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you've a mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the 7th string. Okie doke. Hey, you there. What do you want? Wine? I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? I can't sleep. They won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, it keeps me awake. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. Please make the buzzing stop. Make the midges go away. I can do that. I will kill your flies. The crashed Garlean airship. Hey. now killed all of the midges. It's not so loud anymore. Did you do that? Thank you. You helped me, even after what my comrades and I did to your country. We were on a reconnaissance mission when the maelstrom caught us by surprise. We tried to escape with the others. No one else survived. I didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Garlean. They conquered my lands just like they tried to conquer yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway around the world. I just want to go home. I wish to thank Shamani for the wine. That was overly kind. Would you be willing to bear a gift back to him? Last night at Red Mantis Falls, I collected the sap from nearby palm trees. If placed in coconut shells and stored for a few bells' time, it makes for a fine wine, you see. It should be ready by now. I left 3 shells out there. Please take them to Shamani for me. I'm glad he's moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. Let's go get the coconut shells. Let me go. Splish splash. Back to Shamani. It has been some time, Asuka. What news do you have of Drest? I got some coconut wine. Ah, yes, I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking. A simplistic but nevertheless effective method that utilizes the natural properties of palm sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Drest and I, 2 men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. It is past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking after him, Asuka. By the gods, Asuka, listen! I know you're eager to wash your hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinary about Drest's palm wine. He sealed each coconut shell with a leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain these are the leaves of a Bacchus grape vine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Raincatcher Gully, the legendary vine still grows. If we could obtain a cutting, we could revive the Bacchus wine industry. We must know where Drest found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. Okay. We're off to see the Winezard. Oh, hello again. What is it? This leaf, where you find? It's just a leaf, isn't it? I only chose it because it was pretty. I didn't know it was rare. I found them near the Juggernaut to the south, but I didn't see any grapevines. I saw fresh gubu tracks, though. Maybe the leaves came from vines growing on the back of one such beast. If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some gubus are more territorial than others. You may have to defend yourself. I shall go slay the boo-boo. There he is. Shezmu. Now I take this back to Shamani. Oh yeah. I've got fairy wings, and they flap when I jump. What did you just have to say, Asuka? Tell me everything. Aha! I was right. The smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grapevine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I have heard you talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and a novice vintner could... 12 is my witness. It is a Bacchus grapevine. Wherever did you find this fantastic specimen? What? You would offer this to me? But why? There is none better positioned to reconstruct the Bacchus vineyards than you, Master Bergland. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years' time, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for a cask of Wineport's legendary Bacchus wine. Sir, you needn't... Wait, the shape of this bottle, the scent of this label. This couldn't possibly be a 1547 Bacchus. But that's impossible. This vintage has not been seen since years before the calamity. It was the crown jewel of my personal collection. For years I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time. But now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I say. He has made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Gegaruju will find no finer wine. You have forever changed Wineport, Asuka. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. Ah, but do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray deliver the wine to Captain Whiskate. I shall. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it, but I am a patient man. I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. Back to Costa del Sol. We're in Wineport. Your prolonged absence was beginning to concern me. So, what of the wine I asked you to bring? Here you go. What is that? 7 hells! A 1547 Bacchus! Even I know how rare that is. I have to admit, I didn't think you had it in you. But congratulations, Asuka. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa del Sol has seen in years. Considering the lengths you went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her that the banquet is about to begin. I will do just that. You have the look of a woman who has been to the 7th hell and back. That a guest should be expected to supply the victuals for a banquet held in her own honor. And this while the shadow of Titan looms over us all. It beggars belief. I can only applaud your stoicism. Had I been asked to endure such ignominy, I fear I should have accepted my lot with less grace. Lady Ishtola, Lady Hassenpfeffer. A thousand pardons for this extreme discourtesy. I was wholly unaware of your true identity, madam. Had I known, I would never have permitted my man to subject you to such unspeakable ordeals. Come now, she must have sensed something was amiss. You didn't seriously think I would send you running the length and breadth of Eorzea for a banquet, did you? Spare her your mockery, Captain. Your intent was unclear to me until this moment. And unlike me, Aska has no knowledge of your traditions. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten her. Aye, the fair's fair. There's no sense hiding it any longer. We 5 were chosen by our brothers and sisters, and before the company of heroes disbanded, we each swore a solemn oath that any who would follow in our footsteps must be weighed and measured, not by their reputation, but by their deeds. Each man would judge these would-be god-slayers by his own criteria. If even one found her wanting, she would be rejected without a second thought. But if she proved herself worthy, we swore that we would do our utmost to support her cause. The world has ever been full of brave souls eager to give their lives for a righteous cause, but all too few people capable of making a difference with their sacrifice. To send wave after wave of hapless adventurers into the jaws of a foe against whom they have no hope of victory is worse than futile. Titan is not one to be challenged lightly, and we will not be complicit in the deaths of the unworthy. Which is why the 5 of you deigned to test Asuka with such commendable thoroughness. Time well spent, I am sure, but tell us, Captain, what is the assessment of you and your fellows? She's a brave one, that much is certain. She willingly walked into the midst of danger, despite my repeated warnings that it could cost her her life. Her skill is undeniable. She stalked her prey as relentlessly as any child of the sands, and struck with precision when an opportunity presented itself. Too many adventurers these days care only for fortune and glory. Asuka, however, is a kind and generous soul. I am certain she has no shortage of loyal allies who will gladly fight at her side. Go? Oh, wily Uplander is talentful plansmaker, tricksy foe for mighty rockman. I can only concur with my colleague's assessment. We 5 of the Company of Heroes hereby judge you a worthy challenger. Cast down the Lord of Crags, Asuka Hassenpfeffer, and write a new chapter in the history of Eorzea. With the formalities out of the way, let the festivities begin. Summon the dancers, pour the wine. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends, for today we celebrate the birth of a new legend, Asuka Hassenpfeffer, Titan's Bane. Asuka Hassenpfeffer, Titan's Bane, they all yell. Congratulations, sweetling. Now relax and enjoy the show. It's only just begun. Exotic feast. That is a bowl of goblin cheese. Tasting the exotic feast triggers a divine revelation. In that brief, transcendent moment, you glimpse the true form of reality, comprehend its fleeting nature, and cry out to the heavens in celebration. It must have been damn good food. Well, we gotta talk to all the people from the Company of Heroes. When you face the Lord of Crags, think not of Limsa Lominsa, Eorzea, or anything beyond his chamber. Think only of the men and women by your side. Fight for them, and they will fight for you. Remember that no great victory was ever achieved alone. Pshko? Goodly Uplander must be facing mighty Rockman with clever fighty thing. Gobbyflock cannot be coming to rescue this time. Landonel's watching the dancers. Ah, Haska, you brave fool. Promise me that when you meet Titan, you'll look him in the eye and tell him Landonel sends his regards. Okay. You are a veteran of countless battles, Haska. This is but one more. There. Trust in your experience and you will prevail. You are blessed with a fortitude to rival the earth itself. Titan will struggle to break you, I think. You are kind to indulge them, Asuka. This banquet is as much for the company as it is for you, whatever they claim. I do not deny that they mean well, but now is scarcely the time for celebration. Though they have all but pronounced you the victor, the battle with Titan has yet to begin. The hour has come for the good captain to make good on his promise. We must speak with him again. We'll pick up this quest, and then, travel to Bronze Lake in Upper Lenasia. There you will meet with Riol, another man who once served with the company. To ensure that this knowledge does not fall into the wrong hands, he will remain in hiding until you give the correct signal. Give me your map. You just whistle loudly at the 3 locations I marked. Only then will he appear to meet you at this 4th location. I realize this may seem excessive now, but you will see that it is more than reasonable once you comprehend the risks inherent in our method. Alright, so that is where we'll end this one, and when we come back, we will go about finding our way to Titan.